The Queen's favorite daughter-in-law betrayed her.
It was rock bottom. I had completely and utterly destroyed myself. I murdered myself.
Sarah Ferguson's royal life was doomed from the start. What's the true reason for her downfall?
So I had to learn to be a princess. You know, sounds fantastic, but it's terrifying.
Now, it's not a fairy tale, it's real life in there.
In what terrible way did she betray the Queen?
I can't get over the stupidity of me, you know. The first person who said it was my father-in-law.
She knew she had to face the music and face her mother-in-law, and the Queen was absolutely furious.
But was it all Fergie's own horrible fault? Where was her husband's support?
I want to see my husband. And Andrew wasn't there, and I didn't know what to do. We were pulled apart. So the self-sabotage kicked in.
Fergie was once the Queen's favorite.
The Queen was the one person who, remained steadfastly loyal and absolutely loved being in the company of her daughter-in-law, far more than she liked being with Diana. Fergie loved dogs, Fergie could ride, Fergie could do everything that Diana couldn't do.
But a fatal cheating scandal changed all that. Fergie's entry into the royal family was a nightmare.
We both were so in love. 2 weeks after we got married, Andrew was sent to sea. I saw him 40 days a year for the first 5 years of our marriage.
And she received little love from the family.
And they didn't like her. They saw her as too extravagant, too loud, too flamboyant.
Charles apparently said, look, the problem with Sarah is you just can't shut her up. She could be fun some of the time, but just not all the time because it was giving them a headache.
Being alone and afraid devastated her.
And Andrew wasn't there, and I didn't know what to do. In 1988, when Beatrice was born, I said, okay, well, Beatrice is fine. She's 8 weeks old, and she's got a nanny, and she's perfectly healthy, and she's, she's on bottles now. I want to see my husband.
What Sarah did was unthinkable to the public. She left her baby girl to find her husband.
And I went to Australia to find him. That's when the press turned on me. That's when they said I was a bad mother. Bad Fergie sold papers. It's never stopped since then.
Was this the start of her downward spiral? The path that would lead her to betray the Queen?
It was really, really difficult, and I think it just played into my abandonment. And we both agreed that we didn't fight hard enough to keep it together.
Both Andrew and Sarah made mistakes in their marriage.
I can't get over the stupidity of me, The first person who said it was my father-in-law. For such a smart woman, why does she behave in such an idiotic way?
In the following years, their marriage crumbled. And what was Sarah's biggest mistake? She sought comfort from other men.
Fergie's adventures with her American lovers had not gone unnoticed by the Queen's top advisors, the grey men behind palace walls.
However, Sarah's affairs weren't her biggest mistake. It was when her secret went public.
Fergie let her guard slip. The result was catastrophic.
Pictures of Sarah and a lover were leaked.
It's impossible to imagine the shock, the horror, even for someone as self-confident as Sarah, when she saw these pictures. And apparently Prince Philip came into the breakfast room, picked up one of the papers and just threw it in front of her and walked out.
Those pictures landed in newspapers. And the papers landed in the Queen's lap.
She did go down to breakfast and she found that the Queen had left all the tabloid newspapers on her plate.
Once, the Queen was Sarah's closest ally. But that changed in a heartbeat.
Fergie went up to see the Queen because she knew she had to face the music and face her mother-in-law, and the Queen was absolutely furious, apparently.
Sarah had betrayed the Queen's close friendship. The rest of the royal family were also furious.
Famously, Sarah sent flowers to Princess Margaret, who sent them back with a note saying, "You're an absolute disgrace to the family."
But the most furious was the Queen's husband.
Prince Philip is absolutely incandescent with rage with her because he feels that she's let down the monarchy.
It was Prince Philip who wanted her gone.
In a few years, Fergie had reduced the reputation of the monarchy to shreds in his mind, and he was absolutely not going to put up with it. And he said to the Queen, "She is not coming here. She's out. I don't ever want to see her again."
Even the media turned on Sarah.
So many people can write horrible things, and every day somebody writes absolutely diabolical things about me.
Her exile from royalty was heartbreaking, made worse by the separation from her kids.
It's been really sad for 15 years not to spend Christmas with the girls. It's a royal family occasion, and I'm divorced from the royal family. And so I don't get to spend time with them.
Despite both their unforgivable mistakes, can Andrew and Fergie's love truly die?
He's one of the greatest men I've ever met in my life, and my best friend, and great father to my children.
Actually, the two still live together, regardless of all the scandals.
Now our life together is the greatest ever. It's so hard to comprehend because we're not normal. This is our fairy tale, and we're telling it our way.
And Fergie's relationship with the Queen?
I'm very, very honoured to have been her daughter-in-law, and I'm really proud of the Queen. There is never more of a more humble, more iconic figurehead that has really seen so much change and still carries on.
Do you think Sarah was solely to blame? Or should the palace have been more supportive?